Have you ever noticed that the more anxious you are for something to happen, the further away it seems to get? And it's precisely when you give up, let go, and surrender that the universe returns everything in a magical way. This infinite loop is the paradox no one tells you about. The mind, when it pushes, blocks. But the heart, when it releases, attracts. Science has already shown that states of heart coherence can even alter the frequency of DNA, which explains why the universe's timing is never aligned with our mental clock. The cycle of anxiety, frustration, surrender, and miracle is not by chance. It's a hidden code of the quantum field. And once you understand this code, you'll discover how to break the loop and finally align yourself with the invisible flow that has always been waiting for you. Have you ever stopped to think that what you call the universe's delay might actually be invisible protection? What you see as a setback may just be an energetic realignment happening behind the scenes. It's as if the quantum field is rearranging pieces of a puzzle you can't yet see in full. And when the pieces finally fit together, what comes to you makes much more sense than what you had imagined. This new perspective changes everything. It's not about waiting or giving up, but about learning to enter into coherence with the flow. When you understand that quantum time is not linear, you realize that each timeline jump depends on your vibrational state, not the calendar. The mind may want it now, but the heart knows when the right time is. And it's always at the moment when you're ready to receive. Imagine you plant a seed. You don't keep digging it up every day to check if it's sprouted, because you know that would only interfere with the process. Instead, you trust, water it, care for the soil, and wait for the right season. The same goes for your desires. When you sow them in the energetic field, you must respect the invisible time of growth. And during that time, your task is not to force, but to raise your vibration. This outlook takes a huge weight off your shoulders, because you realize you no longer need to live under the pressure of urgency. The universe doesn't operate like a boss demanding instant reports, but like an ally responding to your frequency. Anxiety creates resistance while trust opens paths. It's simple. When you change your vibrational identity, the reality around you changes to dot, and if you really observe, everything in the natural world confirms this. The tides, the lunar cycles, the change of seasons. Nothing rushes, yet everything happens perfectly. The quantum field follows the same intelligence. When you try to force things, you're going against the current. But when you learn to trust the natural rhythm, you feel the softness of the flow. That's the point where attracting abundance stops being a struggle and becomes a consequence. Maybe you've never thought of it this way, but even your body already knows this. Think about how breathing works. If you try to control every breath, you quickly run out of air. But when you let your body breathe on its own, everything flows naturally. That's the code of quantum manifestation. The body, heart, and mind need to work in harmony. The secret isn't in control, but in conscious surrender. This perspective also transforms your self-image, because you stop seeing yourself as someone needy, chasing after something, and start seeing yourself as someone who already deserves and already possesses. And it's in this energy of worthiness that you collapse realities. The identity shift happens when you stop vibrating in lack and start vibrating in wholeness. It's an internal repositioning that changes everything. Think. With me, when you walk into a room believing no one will notice you, your posture, your tone of voice, and even your energy confirm that belief. But when you walk in with the conviction that you have value, without needing to prove anything, people notice. The universe works the same way. It responds to how you feel about yourself, not just to what you ask for. This is the key to reprogramming your subconscious mind. Here's a simple metaphor. Imagine life is like ordering food at a restaurant. You place your order, hand it to the waiter, and trust it will come. You don't run into the kitchen every minute to pressure the chef, right? If you did, your meal would probably come out poorly prepared. But since you trust the process, it arrives at the right time. The universe is that cosmic restaurant, and you need to learn to trust the service. When you look at it from this angle, even the delays become blessings in disguise. How many times have you been grateful later for something that didn't work out in the past? At the time it felt like frustration, but later you understood it was protection. That's the invisible flow working to align your frequency with what's truly yours. And this understanding dissolves much of the anxiety that once seemed inevitable. This new perspective also teaches you to let go of the burden of urgency, because you understand that haste is just a reflection of a disconnected mind. When you return to your heart, you discover that there is already abundance in every detail of the present. This completely changes the game. Instead of waiting for future happiness, you begin to vibrate now at the frequency of what you desire. And that vibration is the password for the quantum field to move. And here's another important point. Trusting is not passivity. It's not crossing your arms and waiting for miracles. Trusting is acting from a state of energetic alignment, not desperation. It's planting, caring, preparing ... but without pressuring the outcome. It's living in the elevated vibration of someone who already knows the universe is taking care of every detail. That's the difference between forcing and flowing. When you adopt this new perspective, you begin to see signs everywhere. Little synchronicities, unexpected encounters, opportunities appearing out of nowhere. That's not coincidence. It's the universe showing you that you've tuned into the right frequency. These signs are the language of the quantum field. And the more you pay attention to them, the more they multiply. It's as if reality is saying, keep trusting, you're on the right path. And it's precisely that trust that breaks the loop of anxiety. Because when you understand that, everything is already falling into place. There's no more room for despair. You begin to walk lightly, knowing that each step is already guided. This lightness is what creates space for abundance to manifest without resistance. And curiously, that's when the magic happens. When you least expect it, what once seemed distant materializes right before your eyes. But hold on, this is just the beginning of the turning point. Because beyond seeing with new eyes, you need a solid foundation, one that blends science and spirituality, to truly understand how this process works. And that's what we're going to explore in the next part. So take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because in the next few minutes you'll discover the scientific and spiritual basis behind this hidden code of the universe. Have you ever heard that the heart can think? It might sound strange, but science has already proven that the heart has its own nervous system, capable of sending more information to the brain than the other way around. That's why states of heart coherence not only change your mood, but also your vibrational frequency. When you breathe consciously and feel gratitude, your heart emits a powerful energy field that literally reprograms your subconscious mind. And this isn't loose mysticism. We're talking about measurable science. The Heart Math Institute, for example, has shown that the heart's electromagnetic field can be detected several feet away from the body. This means your internal state is not just an isolated thought, but a frequency that influences your surroundings. This is the physical basis of quantum manifestation. What you vibrate, you emit. And what you emit returns in the form of reality. The spiritual side, ancient traditions already knew this intuitively. Yoga, Taoism, shamanism, they all speak of the importance of aligning heart and mind to access higher states of consciousness. When you meditate, pray, or practice breathwork, you're adjusting your energy so the quantum field can respond. It's an invisible dance between the seen and the unseen, between faith and science. But let's go further. Epigenetic studies led by scientists like Bruce Lipton have shown that your beliefs can literally turn genes on or off. This means that when you're stuck in cycles of anxiety and frustration, your body responds biologically, even affecting your immune system. On the other hand, When you shift your self-image and begin to vibrate with confidence, your DNA responds, opening the door to real change. This is where spirituality and science meet. Because while quantum physics explains that particles behave differently when observed, spirituality has always said that your intention shapes reality. The observer creates the observed. And when you understand this, you realize you're not a victim of chance, but a conscious co-creator of the energetic field around you. That's the true timeline shift. Maybe you've noticed, when you're in a high vibration state, everything seems to go right. Kind people appear, unexpected solutions arise, even traffic seems to flow better. But when you're in a low frequency, angry or anxious, it feels like the whole world is working against you. That's not coincidence. It's the natural response of the energetic field you're projecting. Neuroscience also supports this view. The brain has something called the reticular activating system, RAS, which filters information from the environment based on your dominant beliefs. If you believe you're unworthy, your subconscious mind blocks opportunities. But if you reprogram your mind for abundance, this same system begins to spot open doors that were always there. You literally change your perception of reality. And what does that mean in practice? That your external reality is nothing more than a reflection of your internal programming. If you vibrate scarcity, the quantum field collapses situations of scarcity. If you vibrate confidence, it collapses abundance. It's like changing the radio station. The music was always in the air, you just weren't tuned in. When you raise your vibration, you finally find the right frequency dot from a spiritual perspective. This also explains why letting go is so powerful. When you try to control everything, you're vibrating fear. But when you trust the universe, you're vibrating surrender. That surrender creates an energetic alignment that opens space for the natural flow of abundance. It's like releasing the handbrake. The car always had power, but only moved when you let go. And here's something curious. Sincere prayer, not the kind filled with demands, but gratitude prayer, produces brainwaves similar to those of deep meditation. In these states, your brain enters coherence with your heart, and together they generate a magnetic field that alters your perceived reality. This is the scientific basis of what we call miracles. They're simply the invisible laws of nature in action. What seems spiritual is, in fact, deeply scientific as well. The problem is that we were trained to separate science and spirituality, as if they were enemies, when in fact they're complementary. Science shows the how, spirituality reveals the why. And when you bring the two together, you discover that quantum manifestation is less magical than it seems, and much more practical than you might think. This brings us to a crucial point. You don't have to choose between believing in the invisible or trusting the visible. You can integrate both. You can use manifestation techniques to raise your vibration while also understanding that your body and brain are physiologically responding to it. That balance is what brings real results. It's science supporting faith, and faith expanding science. Now, maybe you're wondering, okay, but how do I put this into practice in a guided way? That's the most transformative part, because it's not enough to understand it intellectually. You have to experience it. And in the next step, I'll guide you through a practical experience so you can feel firsthand how the quantum field responds to your vibration. But first, remember, if this content is expanding your perspective, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss the guided experience that could shift your relationship with the universe. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine your mind as a lake. When you're anxious, the waters are choppy, full of waves and splashes. But when you relax, breathe, and simply allow, the surface becomes calm and crystal clear. In that peaceful state, you can see the bottom of the lake with clarity. Quantum manifestation works the same way. Only in stillness can you see what was already there. Now take a deep breath. Inhale to a count of 4, hold for 2, and exhale slowly to a count of 6. Repeat this cycle a few times. Notice how the simple act of breathing already begins to raise your vibration. Your heart slows down, your body relaxes, and your subconscious mind begins to receive a new command. I trust the universe. This is the first step to reprogramming your mind and making room for the flow of abundance. As you continue breathing, place one hand over your heart. Feel it beating. Sense the life pulsing within you. This energetic field emanating from your heart is your antenna for communicating with the universe. The more you send out signals of trust and gratitude, the clearer this transmission becomes. It's like tuning a radio frequency. You're aligning with the high vibration of abundance. Now bring to mind something you want to manifest. It could be a dream, a project, a shift in your reality that you feel deep in your soul. But instead of thinking about it with anxiety, imagine it has already happened. See the details, feel the colors, notice the sensations. Create within yourself the self-image of someone who already has it. This is the moment you collapse reality in the quantum field. Let a feeling of gratitude fill you. Not gratitude for what's to come, but for what already is. Because in the energetic field, what you feel already exists. That emotion is the secret key that opens the portal to manifestation. The more you vibrate gratitude, the more you attract abundance. It's like telling the universe, I've already received and I'm ready for more. Now notice how your body responds. Maybe a gentle warmth in your chest, a lightness in your shoulders, a deeper breath. These are signs that your vibrational frequency is rising. You're shifting from a mental state of demand to an energetic state of trust. This simple exercise is already a timeline jump. You've changed your vibrational identity. Now imagine a golden light surrounding your entire body. This light is the reflection of your new vibration. It expands, touches the walls of the room, flows through doors, reaches people, situations, and opportunities. Everything vibrating at this same frequency begins to be drawn to you. This is the law of attraction in action, not through anxious desire, but through the energetic alignment you just created. As you stay in this vibration, repeat silently, I release and receive. I trust the universe. I deserve abundance. These affirmations aren't just phrases, they're internal programming commands. Every time you repeat them in a state of coherence, your subconscious mind records a new identity. You're not just dreaming, you're reprogramming your reality. Now, slowly bring your attention back to the room. Feel your feet touching the floor, your calm breath, your peaceful heart. Notice that something has shifted inside you. It's not just a passing thought, it's a change in frequency. You've just proven to yourself that you can raise your vibration in a matter of minutes and access a new line of reality. That's more powerful than any mental effort. And here's the secret. If you practice this exercise daily, even for just 5 minutes, your subconscious mind will begin to accept this new identity as natural. And the more natural it becomes, the faster the universe responds. Because the quantum field doesn't react to your anxiety, but to your constant state of vibration. And now you know how to create that state. This simple practice breaks the anxiety loop. Instead of chasing, you learn to attract. Instead of forcing, you learn to release. This change in posture creates a new energy field around you and people. Begin to notice. You don't need to say a word, your presence already transmits a high vibration that inspires trust and opens doors. And the most interesting part is that the more you practice, the more signs begin to appear in your daily life. Coincidences, unexpected encounters, opportunities that seem to fall from the sky. But they don't, they're responses to what you're vibrating. It's reality reorganizing around your new frequency. That's the practical experience of collapsing reality. Now imagine what could happen if, in addition to this practice, You discovered a structured method that integrates science and spirituality to accelerate the process. A conscious path to reprogram your mind, transform your self-image, and live permanently in this state of energetic alignment. That's exactly what we'll explore in the next part. And if you want to experience every step of this method, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell now, because the next content will show you the complete process to turn this experience into a habit and manifest abundance every day. Have you noticed that knowing isn't enough? You can understand all the theory about the law of attraction, the subconscious mind, and vibrational frequency, but without a method to apply it daily, it all stays scattered. It's like knowing the pieces of a puzzle but never putting them together. That's why I'm now going to show you a practical path to reprogram your mind and finally break the anxiety loop. The method starts with something simple: conscious breathing plus clear intention. Every day when you wake up, take 3 minutes to breathe in coherence. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. While doing this, choose a single intention for the day. It doesn't have to be big, it could be as simple as today: I will vibrate confidence. This small act already begins to align your energy field from the start. The second step is to work on your self-image. It's no use trying to attract abundance if, internally, you still see yourself as limited. So throughout the day, practice an identity exercise. Ask yourself, who would I be if I already had what I desire? The answer isn't intellectual, it's energetic. Feel that version of yourself and, whenever possible, act like them. That's the secret to changing reality. The third step is visualization with emotion. Set aside 5 minutes to imagine your desire already fulfilled, but not in a distant way. See it, feel it, mentally touch it. Create in your body the same emotion you'd feel if it were already real. Because the quantum field responds to emotion, not just thought. This is one of the most powerful manifestation techniques to collapse reality. The fourth step is to release and receive. After visualizing, you must let go. There's no point in constantly checking if it has already happened. That only recreates anxiety. Instead, mentally say, "It is done, I trust." And return to your life with lightness. This is the most challenging point, but also the most transformative. Letting go is what makes room for the manifestation to occur. The fifth step is to practice anticipatory gratitude. Write down 3 things you are grateful for as if they've already happened. For example, I am grateful for the new opportunity that arrived. I am grateful for abundance flowing into my life. This reprograms your subconscious mind and raises your vibration to the frequency of what's already done. This is where the energy of worthiness becomes stronger. The sixth step is the state of presence. During the day, whenever you feel anxiety or urgency, pause, breathe, place your hand on your heart, and return to the now. This breaks the mental loop and reinsures you in the flow. It's like pressing the reset button on your vibration. Small moments of presence throughout the day are worth more than hours of poorly done meditation. The seventh step is interpreting signs. The universe communicates through synchronicities, little coincidences, things people say, unexpected encounters. When you're in energetic alignment, these signs multiply. Write them down, celebrate each one. They are clues that you're on the right frequency. This reinforces your trust and keeps your vibration high. The eighth step is aligned action. It's not enough to wait. When an opportunity shows up, move. When you feel an intuitive nudge, follow it. The quantum field responds to movement. But not just any movement, only the kind that's in coherence with your new identity. That's the difference between acting with force and acting in flow. One is exhausting, the other is expansive. The ninth step is the nightly review. Before going to sleep, close your eyes and review your day. Ask yourself, when was I in high vibration? Where did I fall into the anxiety loop? No judgment, just observe. This practice increases your awareness and strengthens your internal programming. Also, falling asleep in a state of gratitude amplifies the reprogramming of your subconscious mind. The 10th step is consistency. This method isn't about one big leap, but about micro timeline jumps repeated daily. It's the ongoing practice that solidifies the identity shift. Over time, you won't need to remember to practice. It will become part of who you are. That's when your reality begins to change effortlessly. Now understand, this method isn't magical in a childish sense, but it is magical because it puts you in control of the invisible. It's the fusion of science and spirituality applied to your daily life. And the more you practice it, the more you realize that manifestation isn't something you do, it's something you become. You don't attract abundance, you vibrate abundance, and the universe simply responds. Of course, this method can be adapted to your rhythm. Maybe you'll start with 3 steps and gradually add more. What matters is feeling progress and celebrating every shift, no matter how small. Because every rise in vibration is a building block in the construction of your new reality. And that construction is inevitable when you stay aligned with the flow. But there's still a deeper aspect to explore. How this method is not just individual, it connects you to a collective archetype. Because when you raise your vibration, it's not just your life that changes. You activate an invisible field that resonates with others. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover in the next part. So you already know, if this method made sense to you, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell. Because in the next stage, we'll expand this to the collective and archetypal level, where the real magic happens. Have you noticed how certain vibrations seem to affect an entire space? Think about when someone walks in smiling and suddenly everyone feels lighter. Or the opposite, when someone brings anxiety, the whole atmosphere feels heavy. This happens because we don't vibrate in isolation. We're antennas connected to a vast collective energy field. Your personal frequency doesn't stay with you. It spreads and influences those around you. This realization changes everything, because you understand that when you raise your vibration, you're not just changing your life, you're contributing to a shift in collective reality. It's like lighting a candle in a dark room. Your light doesn't stay confined to your flame. It illuminates the space and allows others to see as well. Quantum manifestation is contagious, and this contagion generates invisible waves that reach far beyond your bubble. From a spiritual perspective, this is explained through archetypes. Jung once said, "We carry universal symbols in the collective unconscious." When you change your self-image, you not only reconnect with your individual power, but activate universal archetypes of abundance, confidence, and worthiness. It's as if you become a living channel for these ancestral forces that inspire everyone around you. And science backs this too. Studies on morphic fields by Rupert Sheldrake suggest that when a behavior or pattern is repeated by enough people, it creates a sort of collective memory. This means that every time you reprogram your mind and let go of control, you strengthen this collective field of trust in the universe. You're not just practicing for yourself, you're doing it for all of humanity. Imagine, for example, that every person who learns to let go and receive opens a trail in the quantum field. The more people walk that trail, the easier it becomes for others. It's like crossing a forest. The first person cuts through branches, faces resistance. But once the trail is open, everyone walks with ease. Your identity shift isn't isolated. It's a silent invitation for others to shift as well. And you've felt this in practice. Think about being in a group of people in a high vibration state, meditating, or simply celebrating together. There's an energy that goes beyond each individual. You feel an expansion, as if time itself shifts. That's the power of the collective field at work. It's an archetypal amplification, a vibrational wave that spreads and strengthens everyone present. And if that happens in simple gatherings, Imagine the impact when thousands of people start practicing manifestation techniques, reprogramming their minds, and trusting the universe. It's not just about attracting individual abundance, but about collapsing a new social reality. That's how movements for change are born, from small, vibrational seeds that grow into entire forests. This vision also dissolves the myth of competition. Because when you attract abundance, you're not taking from anyone. You're expanding the field so everyone has more access. Abundance is not a cake to divide, but a source that multiplies. And every time you raise your vibration, you help open more faucets from this invisible source. That's the true meaning of collective prosperity. Now think about the archetypes of heroes, sages, healers, spiritual leaders. They all represent aspects of the same energy, the ability to transform the invisible into the visible and to inspire others. When you align with that frequency, you also become a living archetype to those who observe you. Your very presence reminds people there's another way. You don't need to speak, your vibration already communicates. That's also why stories are so inspiring. When we hear about people who trusted the universe and attracted miracles, something awakens within us. It's as if their experience activates a dormant code in our own subconscious mind. That's the power of the archetypal one persons. Experience reverberates through the collective and creates new possibilities for all. And it's no coincidence this is happening now, in this historical moment. Humanity is undergoing a collective timeline shift. Old programs of fear and scarcity are being questioned, and each person who reprograms their mind makes room for new consciousness. We are living the transition from a survival-based identity to one of abundance. And you are part of this movement. You may not realize it yet, but every time you practice letting go and receiving, you're sending a signal to the collective field that it's possible to trust the universe. Every time you raise your vibration, you silently show that there's another way to live. And that inspires, spreads, multiplies. Your individual transformation is never just yours. It's part of a greater change, and this is where spirituality and science meet again. You are a cell in the larger organism called humanity. And when one cell vibrates in health, all those around it receive that influence. The same happens with your energy. When you reprogram your self-image and vibrate trust, you become a resonance point that expands abundance in the collective. Now, imagine what could happen if thousands of people synchronize this practice, all vibrating gratitude, trust, and worthiness. The global energy field would shift, accelerating not just individual change, but planetary change. And you can be part of this current. But first, we need one final step: understanding how to bring all of this into your life in a practical, continuous way. And to make sure you don't miss this transformative conclusion, subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell, because the final stage will show you how to stay in this state and step fully into your own journey of transformation. You've likely realized that, deep down, everything we seek is to feel like this. Abundance, success, relationships, even material dreams. All of it is just a reflection of the desire to vibrate in peace, trust, and joy. But life taught us the opposite: to chase, to fight, to hold tight in fear of losing. And it's precisely this internal programming we need to break. Because when you let go, the universe starts delivering what's always been reserved for you. Maybe you've already experienced glimpses of this state. A day when everything seemed to flow effortlessly. Coincidences happened. The right people showed up. Those moments when you felt an invisible intelligence guiding your steps. No. It wasn't random. It was you, even if briefly, entering into energetic alignment with the quantum field. The good news is that it doesn't have to be rare. It can become your new identity. The secret, as we've seen, is not to run faster, but to trust more. Not to tighten, but to release. Not to control, but to receive. It's about reprogramming your subconscious mind to vibrate in worthiness and wholeness. It's allowing your vibrational frequency to speak louder than the noise of an anxious mind. When you do that, reality shifts not by effort, but as a natural consequence of your state of being. And listen, the universe doesn't demand perfection. You don't have to vibrate high all the time, because that's impossible. What matters is consistency, coming back every time you fall, choosing every time you doubt, breathing every time anxiety hits. Every time you do that, you strengthen the new path within you. Until one day, you realize your identity has changed, and abundance has become the new normal. The most beautiful part is that this process doesn't happen only in you, it affects everyone around you. Your energy expands, inspires, creates invisible waves. You become a lighthouse for others who also want to trust the universe. Your quiet practice may be the answer for someone who, without knowing, needed proof that change is possible. You're not walking alone, you're paving the way. And maybe this is the greatest calling, to step into your role as a conscious co-creator. To understand that you're not a victim of chance, but an active part of the flow. That life isn't a race for survival, but a dance of vibrations. And that every choice, every conscious breath, every act of trust is a step in that dance. The stage is already set, the universe is already in motion. All that's left is for you to step into rhythm. Now, I want you to hold this in your heart. You are worthy. You deserve abundance, love, peace. Not because you have to prove anything, but because you already are. That's the energy of worthiness that reprograms self-image and collapses reality. When you see yourself this way, everything around you begins to respond. The universe doesn't deliver through effort, but through the vibration of one who already sees themselves as worthy to receive. So how about starting today? Choosing to let go a little more, trust a little more, breathe a little deeper. Don't wait for perfect conditions. They never come from outside, they always come from within. The timeline shift happens the moment you decide it's now. And that decision doesn't have to be dramatic, it just needs to be consistent. A small daily practice is enough to activate the energy field and align your frequency. And remember, every time you practice, you're not just changing your life, you're contributing to collective change, to a planet vibrating in more trust and less fear, in more abundance and less scarcity. What you do in silence in your room resonates in the collective unconscious. That's the invisible force connecting all of us and accelerating global reality change. That's why the call is simple but profound. Become the guardian of your vibration. Protect it like a treasure, nurture it like a garden. Because it is the key that opens invisible doors. When your vibrational frequency is elevated, everything flows, everything connects, everything happens in perfect timing. There's no need to rush, no need to struggle. Just trust the universe and allow the magic to unfold. And if this message resonated with you, don't let this flow stop here. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell, and come walk with me on this journey. Because with each new episode, you'll receive reminders, practices, and insights to keep you aligned with the invisible flow. This is your calling, to release, to trust, to receive, and to share abundance.